Hey guys, I am headed to the Honda dealer this morning, and I'll tell you why when I return on the Eric McNeal Be Free Show.
Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Hey guys, welcome. You've just discovered the Eric McNeal Be Free Show, where it's all about being financially independent, responsible for self, enjoying life, and empowering others. Free. So, it's been a while since I made my last video, and I'll tell you why. I've been having more car issues. If you saw some of my previous videos, you know I was experiencing some problems with my car, Honda CRV. I had to have the transmission changed, and during all of this time, at one point I took it to the Honda dealer, and they had suggested that I needed the transmission and the engine changed, and I was like, "Go, Debbie, some outrageous price, you know." Debbie, that means no in tree. So at any rate, the mechanic who changed the transmission said that no, the engine is okay. You know, you don't need. You just bring it back, because even after the transmission's changed, I still having some issues. So he's like, you just bring it back. He's just trying to sell your engine. So I was like, thank God, because I can't be buying no new engine now. So, you know, yeah, because, you know, I purchased this car used. You know, when I purchased it, it's a 2018. So I guess it was a few years old, maybe 3 years old when I purchased it, and maybe 4 years. But at any rate, you know, I just purchased it soon as Honda. You know, Honda has a good reputation. So I purchased it, and lo and behold, I should have done some more research, because it seems that over the past 5 or 6 years, Honda's reputation has went from like one of the top, you know, and you know when you're talking about the top 10 vehicles, it's like it used to be one of the top. Now it's at the bottom of those top 10 vehicles, and I'll tell you why. So at any rate, like I said, I had the transmission changed. The mechanic said, no, you don't need to change the engine. They're just trying to sell you another engine. So he did some fixes, and I was driving home almost a month ago from a meeting near the Winneba area, and when I got back almost home, I was in the mountains, and I just heard a poof. Oil spurted out everywhere, and the car just came to a stop. And I had noticed, you know, about an hour before, it was starting to overheat, and I was somewhere, and I just went to get something to eat so it could cool down, put some water in it, and you know, and I thought it was cool. But I also noticed the temperature gauge, you know, was kind of doing these wild swings. It's like, you know, temperature was okay 1 minute, the next minute temperature is too high, and you know, it was like no progression, you know, like you normally see it. If it's overheating, it'll progress up steadily, but it was like these wild swings. And so and this was after getting, you know, a lot of things changed, like the thermostat, and you know, all kind of things changed on it, putting coolant in it. So we thought, you know, everything was okay. yeah. So after this happened, I was like, yeah, it seems like a blown head gasket or something. So we had it towed back to the mechanic. And lo and behold, he said, your engine is ruined and you need a new engine. So I was like, wow. And that's what the Honda dealer was originally telling me, that the engine needed to really be changed. So he said, okay, so he took it apart, took the cylinder, and he's like, so from what I can see, he said, you know, instead of you getting an entire engine, this is what we'll do. It's the cylinder head that's bad, so let's just replace the cylinder head, and that way you don't have to buy the entire engine. So that's what we did, and so we did that. But his machine was still giving some other error codes, so we replaced those things. The catalytic converter was bad, and then you know, the fan, one of the fans on the radiator wasn't working, so we replaced that. And so he got everything replaced, and then he said, you know, when I got it, it wasn't giving the power, you know. So he said, okay, there's a turbocharger boost code that is given, so let's go ahead and, you know, get the turbo charge boost replaced. So we actually fixed, so they were able to fix that. And let's see what else. So when I got it this time, you know, it was still giving me some issues. Or actually, before I got it, he was driving it. After he fixed it, he was driving it for a couple days, and it caught fire. Now, that was had nothing to do with Honda. That had to do with one of the mechanics on the side of the road. It was an electrician that somebody found on the side of the road. They did some faulty work. When they wrapped all these wires, they did a poor job. So in that area, those wires caught fire. And fortunately, the mechanic had the car when it caught fire, and he was able to put the fire out. But I'm glad I didn't have the car, because I probably would have just let that car burn, you know, being afraid that, hey, this car might explode on me. So I'd probably just let it burn up. So, you know, I thank God that the mechanic had it, and he put the fire out before it caused too much damage. So that, you know, all of the wiring harness had to, you know, we had to bring an electrician so he could fix, you know, all of the wiring harness, and we had to end up getting another control board, because the fire messed up the control board, which is quite expensive too. But that had nothing to do with Honda, so that was just some electrician didn't do a proper job. But what has to do with Honda, that's the part I want to talk about. So at any rate, let's talk about why I had posted on my Facebook page earlier that you better watch my video before you buy this Honda CRV. Now, I don't know if it's changed, but I wish I had researched this vehicle, because it has a known problem, and that is the problem that contributed to my the problems that I had with my transmission and the engine. So this car has this turbocharged, it's a 1.5 turbocharged engine, and it is what they call a direct injection engine. And if you look online, you see that it's a huge problem. Honda had a class action lawsuit behind the issue. But what happens is that this direct fuel injection engine, it spits the fuel into the cylinder. However, and then, there's a blast. When it spits that fuel, there's a combustion. However, when during the combustion process, all of the fuel is not, combusted, so there's some fuel left on in the cylinder, and that fuel leaks down into the oil pan. And once it leaks into the oil pan, they say, Honda say, oh, that's normal for these direct injection engines. Typically, the longer, as you drive the vehicle, the fuel that leaks into the oil pan, is burnt off. And it it's not a big deal, but the way that you know that you have, they call it oil dilution, this oil dilution problem. And say, you notice it if you check your oil level. So you put your oil gauge down, you check your oil level. And if you notice that the oil is above the full line, you have this oil dilution problem. And they say under normal circumstances, it's fine. As you drive the vehicle, it burns off that extra fuel in your oil. However, with a number of these Honda direct injection engines, it doesn't burn out. The fuel doesn't burn out the oil, so what it does is it dilutes the oil, meaning that the oil breaks down faster than it normally should, and because the oil is breaking down sooner than it normally should, that means you have to replace the oil much quicker than you normally would. And Lord forbids you are the type that replaces the oil a little later, thinking that, oh, I can go, extra couple months, and that oil has already broken down from the fuel, and now you have friction in your engine and your transmission. It's not being protected. And this is the problem that has been created, and it's worse in cooler areas where the engine, doesn't get hot, so you're not burning off this fuel. So at any rate, so this is what has been causing the problem, and it's been affecting a lot of these Honda CRVs. I think starting in year 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and I think maybe even 21, 22. You have to check on that to be sure, but it's a huge problem. They said Honda had to recall over 350,000 vehicles. Over 350,000, I believe, of these CRVs had to be recalled. So when I'm thinking, and I used to be thinking, man, you just see these Honda CRVs all over Ghana. I don't know about the rest of Africa, but all over Ghana, these Honda CRVs. And I was like, man, that's a popular car. And that's why I end up getting the vehicle, because you see them all. I was like, man, so something go wrong, it's like, oh, Honda, everybody, got parts for the Honda. So they was like, yeah, everybody got parts for Honda here, you don't have to worry, And I was seeing all these Honda CRVs, I said, so I can't go wrong, let me get this Honda CRV. But then it hit me, I was like, that's why you have all these Honda CRVs across Ghana, is because, you see, they have these recalls of these vehicles, and they have this known problem of these vehicles, so they're getting rid of these vehicles. The problem was so bad that China banned the Honda CRVs. because of this problem. Yes, look it up. So, yeah, so you got all these problems, you know, this all these Honda CRVs causing this oil dilution problem that's creating a huge issue. So at any rate, yeah, so I had to get, like I say, the transmission changed, the cylinder head changed. We, you know, put the oil, cooling everything, fixed everything. So the car is driving fantastic now. The problem I'm having now is even after changing the turbo, well, we didn't change the turbo, we just fixed it. We fixed the turbo, had a specialist fix it. But it's still giving a turbo, I guess, mass airflow issue. So he said that that's likely due to the mass airflow sensor. So he's going to, there's like 3 sensors that deal with the turbo and the airflow. So he's going to pick those 3 sensors up and change those sensors. He says, you know, the Honda has a terrible problem with these sensors, either needing to be cleaned or they need to be changed. But he's like, you know, if those sensors aren't working, your whole car is just off. So I can tell, you know, it still doesn't have the pick up and go, that if you press the gas, it doesn't pick up. So you can see that turbo. The turbo is not kicking in. But otherwise, you know, there's no noise in the engine now. You know, he showed me the old cylinder, and you can see, you know, where it's just the friction has just messed it up. So yeah, one other thing is you might ask, well, is there a way to I guess to remove the problem or to deal with the problem, solve this problem? From my research, yes, there's a couple things that you need to do, that you can do. One is you can add these, I guess, transmission lubricants. One of them is like Lucas. We don't have a lot of access. You rarely find it here in Ghana. You know, you can find it like online, but it's readily available in the West. It's Lucas, you know, lubricant. So you can add that to the oil, and what it does is, you know, it protects your engine from the wear and tear. So even if the oil breaks down and is not really protecting it, that Lucas will protect it much longer. Or you can also just use the recommended oil, high quality synthetic recommended oil, and change it, they say, religiously. They say change it every 5,000 miles or 6 months. Okay? Don't play around, just change it. So that's how, you know, essentially you deal with it. So yeah, hey, there you go. So I'm telling you, I know from experience, don't put yourself through this. If you can get a car that's not, you know, like I say, I'm not sure if the newer models have resolved this problem, but yeah, before you get the car, do your research. That's all I'm telling you. So at any rate, I'm headed down to Honda this morning, just simply to get my radio panel back operational, because it has this anti-theft system that if it's disconnected, I guess, from the battery for some length of time, it registers as being stolen, and so the whole unit, you can't use it unless you have this anti-theft code. And I can't find the anti-theft code. It wasn't in the control, the owner's manual. And they say it's normally like a little card, or sometimes it could be a sticker in your glove compartment. But I can't find it anywhere. And on some units, you can do a reboot. On this unit, 2018, I can't find the reboot sequence to put it in diagnostic mode. So they say you just take it by the dealer and prove that it's your car. They'll get it back online for you. So that's what I'm doing this morning, guys. So at any rate, I just wanted to come at you with this video. I know this is not a normal video. I'll get back. When you're going through this process, as you know, I guess it's been going on for 2 months now, because to get the transmission changed, that was a month. Then to do this whole engine thing, that was another month. So, and you have to be babysitting these guys, when you're going through this, to make sure people do the right thing. So now that, I'm back mobile, I can focus and do my videos on the community. So I'll be giving some updates very soon about where we are in the community. So just thanks for being patient and bearing with us. So at any rate, if you like what we're talking about, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Like, share, comment, give me your feedback. And so we got a lot of good information coming to you very soon about the community. So definitely you can visit our website at www.migratingculturecrossing.com to find out more about our community. And if you haven't already done so, you still have time to take advantage of our half-price home promo. So you can also find me at facebook.com/Eric McNeal. It's free. And as always, Ooorahhh Uhuru. Now be free.